All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Multiverse Show, episode 128, the greatest show on Mondays. Boys, we got a lot we got to cover tonight. It's going to get nuts. We have a couple of new guests on the show, ready to roll. First, we're going to do our introductions real quick for the guys who are returning. We got James Wilson, Mr. Baron of Britain. How you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm very, very tired because the past 4 days have just been people asking me where the toilet is, what screen is screen one, and that someone is sitting in my seat.
All right, the pound of the Piedmont.
I hate it so much.
All right, and Sam, the pound of the Piedmont.
Hey everybody, how's it going? It is good to be back, and geez Louise, we had a geek-filled weekend. This is ridiculous. We're probably never going to see something like that again. It's
Dude,
absurd.
Two series that have taken over a decade to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Two series culminating in the end in the same time frame.
Weekend. How crazy is that?
All right, and we have our Multiverse Corpsman here. We have Mr. Nick Marseille.
Good evening, everybody, and pleasure to be here. And as people have mentioned before, this week was crazy for entertainment. You know, our daily food. We had new games releases. We had Avengers, and I'm not into Game of Thrones, but apparently that was huge for fans. So yeah, it's great. It's great times.
Yep. And we have the Jez of the gear grinding variety.
Yes, what's up, everybody? It's Jez7780. What grinds my gears? And it was a glorious weekend. Oh my goodness, I tell you, from the Avengers movie, man, watching that after all those years and building up to it, it was amazing. And now Game of Thrones, let's do this, man. Anchorman, I was thinking of you, man, during the gloriousnness of Endgame.
Yeah, man. Oh my God, there was so much going on. But dude, all right. So real quick, for those just some other stuff we want to get to, we do have a guest on for the evening, Mr. Lord Cognito from the Iron Lord.
Lords of the Multiverse. Jazz, what's going on?
Yo,
man?
what's up, man? How you doing?
Chilling, bro? Chilling. Yo, this is Los Sam. What's up, bro? Long time. It's good to be here, man. So much nerd culture going on right now. I couldn't contain myself, man. Last week was fantastic. Weekend was fantastic. Like you said, Game of Thrones, Avengers, Endgame. I mean, just two cataclysmic things on the weekend. So much to process, so we're going to get into it, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. So for everybody who's joining in now, we're going to get this out of the way. This is going to be a very different kind of show. We're only talking about spoilers this evening, but we're going to do a quick non-spoiler version of the show for you guys who are tuning in. So as you guys are walking in the door, hit that like button. Let's get rolling. But we're going to do quick little impressions of what we thought of Game of Thrones and Avengers. So we're going to start with Game of Thrones first in this case. We're just going to kind of roll in and you're giving a brief 30-second impressions. Just no spoilers, period, about Game of Thrones. So we're going to roll in. We're going to pick Sam. You can start. What were your thoughts on Game of Thrones from last night? Battle of Winterfell. Let's go.
There was almost no way that they could deliver, but they delivered. There was, forget a few movies or forget the concept of a couple of books. There was over 70 hours of intense drama and creeping horror and build-up leading to what happened at Winterfell, and the characters we know and love were thrown into the fires of hell. And how can I even say this? It was a crucible like no other. There was, yes, you might call it fan service, but there were also tears shed. There was redemption earned. There were last stands. It was everything I wanted. I'm not afraid to say towards the end that I started crying at one particular moment. Mm-hmm. And the last 5 minutes, shout out to Ramin Djawadi, because his music, his soundtrack, every time I think it can't get better, he somehow manages to one-up himself. And I actually would argue he has outdone like all his previous work with the final track for this episode. It set the tone perfectly. I have never been more stressed or perched on the edge of my seat than I was last night. It was incredible.
Absolutely.
Excellent. James?
I don't think I can beat that. I mean, without going into details, which we're going to do in a bit. I don't want to be that guy. It's just Joe Addy. The D is silent. It's like Django.
I always butcher his last name. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, but I just needed to say it. Someone needed to say it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's outstanding. Like it does that brilliant Game of Thrones thing of it sets up what you think it's going to be, and then it does the other thing.
Absolutely.
And even though you're so used to that, it still gets you.
Yep.
And I don't know how. I know the bang is coming. It's coming. Whoa! Didn't see that one. Whoa! And that happened. One might say too many times, but no, complaining that I was excited more than once is like complaining that the cake I had was so nice that I didn't want to finish it. You know, what's the point? It's great.
All right. And Nick, I know you don't really care about Game of Thrones, so we're gonna skim over.
No, I want to know what he thought.
Skip.
All right, Jez.
Yo, I thought it was absolutely awesome. I think, the special effects, what's been leading up to this thing, I think they went all out. I'm not going to spoil it, but I got something that I've always been waiting for, that I was like, this is going to be it. And when we get into spoilers, I'll explain that. But, I thought it was excellently done. There was definitely, I did have a couple of questions about the strategy in the battle. I'm not no war hero or anything like that, but some of the things I was scratching my head going, I was criticizing it, but that's because I was into it so much. But I do think that it was really awesome. Like, I think the previous episode, the way they set up all the characters and meeting all in Winterfell really paid off in this one, because I think if they just went right to the battle, like in the last one, I don't think we would have felt as much as like the shock of everybody meeting each other and stuff like that, and like doing their last night together and stuff.
Absolutely.
So it was really good.
All right, Cog.
Man, I mean, you guys knocked it out the park. I mean, what more can I say? This was a spectacular episode. I think for me, again, without spoiling, the opening set the tone. Just as far as the threat level, as far as the emotional weight of what they were up against. I like how it was not cut in a way that was monotonous. I almost felt towards the second half, I almost went into like an Assassin's Creed stealth game for a little bit for me.
That was very good, yeah.
Which I loved. So it just the battle had so many different dynamics and was fought on so many different levels that each one was done so well and could have been great in their own right. And many character moments. I think Jez knocked it out the park as far as the episode before, set the tone as almost the last night together. I think James made a great point as far as in typical Games of Thrones fashion, expect the unexpected. And like Sam said, the music, I mean, towards the end, I mean, how could you not get emotional? One scene in particular, I'm a grown-ass man, but I'll tell you right now, one scene in particular towards the end when it was looking spooky. And, it got me. There was one that really got me. I'll just say a tombstone scene specifically too as well. I mean, this was years in the making. I can't say any more about it. Just a fantastic episode. And when we get into spoilers, I can't wait to talk about it more.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, you guys definitely said it. This episode was great. I think no, this is obvious. People are dying. I think the people who died well, and they were fulfilled. And I was like, yes, here we go. But then it was like everything was done tastefully. People got the shine they needed, and I was like, all right, I'm good. Like I'm emotionally okay. Because I walked straight out of Endgame and then walked straight into Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Jeez.
I know.
So I was like,
what's the Infinity Gauntlet when they were like marching in with the dragons? I'm like using my genres.
Yeah, man. But also, while we're here, because I don't have much to say, at least without getting into spoilers for Game of Thrones, I want to take a moment as well. For those of you guys who watch the show and basically been around YouTube or anywhere else for an extended period of time, you guys have maybe not noticed this person who was in the chat on occasion. He's been on all of our shows at some point. Skilled HD.
Yeah, I heard it. So sad. Yeah.
Skilled died last week, which was early Tuesday morning his time, which meant he died after our show. And I don't know if him in the chat that one time was the last thing he said. And I don't know, but I'm not taking that risk. So we're going to have like a brief moment of silence for him because he's been around. He's a good kid, 19, and he's gone. And I want to take just a moment of silence for him. Just a moment. Okay. So thank you guys very much. I wanted to do something I didn't want to do at the beginning. I wanted to give it its reverence somewhere here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So moving on, Avengers Endgame. So again, 30-second review, no spoilers, period. We're gonna go reverse order. So I thought it was a great send-off for a lot of the main characters who we've watched their stories for 10 years now. Really 11 years now. And it was nice. It was enjoyable. I thought overall, it was a great movie. I think I liked Infinity War slightly better. But
I agree.
I see
with
it.
you.
But I just the tone was different, and I think, but I don't know how you would have. It's one of those things. Like, how do you follow up Infinity War?
True.
How do you follow up that? And I that was my issue with it. But I think once they got the ball rolling, it was great. Hit after hit after hit. 3 hours breezed by. It was just like I didn't like no bladder issue. So it was like people worried about 3 hours. Like you ain't going to the bathroom. You can't move. You're not even thinking about it. So I thought it was good. A really, really good movie. All right, Cog.
Yeah, man. I think me and you, I think we talked beforehand, and me and you are of the same mindset. First of all, fantastic movie. I'm not going to sit here and take anything away from Endgame. It was really good, man. It's like you said, you had a culmination of all these years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe to this point, and fantastic payoffs, a lot of emotional moments at the end. Huge fan of the second half. Huge fan, and I won't get into specifics, but they really did a lot of fan service and a lot of minute details that if you haven't been around from day one, you may not have caught, or a casual fan may not have caught. But as a fan of specific characters or specific moments in specific films, it will resonate deeply. I'm with you of the camp that Infinity War is still, in my opinion, the better movie. I struggled with the first half for reasons we'll get into later. Was it terrible? No, but the first half, as far as I just had some issues I just didn't agree with, and sometimes I think that's where like the movie aspect or the contract aspect kind of gets in the way of certain things from a storytelling standpoint. But again, minor nitpicks, still great. I don't know if it's at my top 5 yet. We'll get into that later. I'm gonna rewatch it again this weekend, but that's all I got on it.
Okay. All right, and to everybody else, just because of timing issues, or just brief rapid fire, like 3 bullet points, that kind of stuff. Jez?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I do agree. I think the Infinity War was a bit better than this one. I did think that what they did in this movie was amazing on how they were able to squeeze everything in to it. And it was a great send off for all the characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Nick?
Well, I can only say, as not even a Marvel fan, because I've seen maybe 5 or 4 movies besides this, but I can say this is one of the best movies I've ever seen, like ever. I already watched it twice, and I'm tempted to go a third time. And yeah, I think it's a masterpiece. And besides a little, a couple conveniences that I noticed that are there in order for the plot to, roll and continue. Everything else was so epic. I think like 3 hours long movie. I didn't blink once. The moments that were slow were filled with gags and laughs or character development. It was great, man. And not only for me was a great like movie watching experience, it was also one of the best cinema going experiences, because my room was filled. It was filled with young people. It was filled with young adults, but everybody was like religiously quiet when they had to be quiet. Yes. Everybody laughed when they had to laugh. Everybody was cheering when they had to cheer. Me myself, I was like the leader in one of the something happened. I was like, "Whoa!" And everybody around me went like, "Whoa!"
Threw popcorn at you. Sit down.
All right, time. I don't mean to cut you short. We got time for that and spoilers. So, all right, James.
Yes, I think the film's great, and echoing what people have said, the communal atmosphere of like I watched it at a midnight showing, the midnight showing to be precise. A day before America, cough cough. Yeah, no, it's a really, really, really enjoyable film. Again, I think Infinity War is a superior film, just on a filmmaking point of view, and like a writing point of view, and a technical showcase. However, as a finale to this saga, I struggle to think of a way they could have done it differently. I have minor problems with tone, with like the tone jumping wildly from things like and I think it's not as we know Ant-Man's in the film. Ant-Man's a very comical character. Him at certain moments just felt to me like he was just dragging the film in a direction that it didn't need to be going. But apart from but in the grand scheme of things, he's Ant-Man for a reason. It didn't make that much of a difference. I still hadn't. It's one of the best times watching a film that I've had in a long time. I watch a lot of films, so that means something when I say that.
Yeah. All right, and Sam hasn't seen it yet, but so we're gonna go back to Game of Thrones for a minute, and we're gonna do our spoiler stuff for it. We're putting a timer of 15 minutes on spoilers for Game of Thrones because we're trying to get everything.
Enough. It's so not enough.
I know it's not enough. It's not enough. 15 minutes. So really, because the panel is so large, and I have a feeling everybody's going to be harping on something entirely different. If someone else brings it up, skip it. We know what you meant. So
fair.
We know.
Fair.
We know.
Rundown.
A rundown.
We're gonna get everybody just a second to get out of the room. If you don't want to hear Game of Thrones spoilers, now's the time to go. What I will do is I will put a timestamp in the description when this show comes back up, when Avengers spoilers start talking, so you guys have an idea of when that's going to happen. Because I don't want to spoil it for you guys if we're not going to spoil it. So keep that in mind. And I'll also put it out on Twitter when we start going to Avengers spoilers. So, okay, we're going to get things started here. It's just rapid fire. Just throw in what you want to say. I do want to say, kicking off the spoiler discussion, because this is all I really have to say. Called it. Theon's dead.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And it was the right time to go.
His arc was complete.
It was perfect.
His arc was complete. He redeemed himself entirely.
If he had waited 9 seconds.
Don't ruin it for me.
Just saying.
I know, right? I think he should have clarified himself before he just said thank you. He should wait a few minutes.
But it was time for him to go. It was his time.
I know.
He redeemed himself to Bran and Sansa.
If he hadn't died, then go ahead. It's all right.
He redeemed himself. But yeah. Other than that, my boy Samwell lived.
Oh man, I wanted him to die, man. I wanted him to die.
Can we talk about how small the kill count was?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, at least in terms of major characters, if you were inside, you lived.
Yeah,
I'm
The
surprised.
campfire
I
scene.
thought more people are gonna die. Yeah,
yeah.
I
We
agree.
were all going. Everyone in the crypt's dead.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Unbelievable! I can't believe no major character who was in those crypts died.
Yeah, good point.
Missandei, Varys, Sansa, Tyrion. They're all still alive.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like,
I didn't think it was
with
as big,
her.
yeah.
Well, so when they started the show off, they should do a whole focus on Sam for a bit. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna die. Then they showed Tyrion for a while. Like, oh god, he's gonna die. And then then it stops doing that approach. And I was like, oh god, those two are gonna die. It's over. None of them live.
They didn't
Sam
even kill
barely.
anything either down there. Like they just stood in front of the group of people. You didn't even see them stab anything in the crypt.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But this is what I was talking about in the subversion of expectations. They did this person is in an area of completely insurmountable odds. Oh no, they're fine. They did that just a little too many times.
I thought Jamie was dead like 3 times.
Yeah.
No, there's that scene you were talking about. I think Jez, I think you were the one talking about it, where they were saying like when you see like Sam's covered in White Walkers, and I'm like, he's dead.
Yes,
no.
when Jon Snow walks by him and he's like just laying there again. I'm like, oh, he's dead.
Like you just see like Tormund fighting off a group, and it's like he's getting overrun. I'm like, oh my god, this
and
is
Jamie,
it. They're all gonna die.
Overrun.
I need to talk about Tormund for 1 second. So,
yes.
In the brilliant behind the scenes videos that the Game of Thrones YouTube channel puts up, there's a 40-minute look at this episode, and it's so good. Everyone has to go watch it. There's a little section with Christopher Haiju, who plays Tormund, just talking about like him working with the stunt guys in the castle, and he's going, because he's like a sort of a trained fighter to a degree. He said to the stunt guys, if you get me, just pull me down. So there were takes where Tormund died, which I just love. And he was going, it wasn't Tormund fighting, it was Christopher fighting. And I just like, he's just Tormund in real life. It's great.
It's hilarious.
But oh man, there's just every single person had something brilliant to do in this episode, except Jon, because I've finally given in. I think Jon's really boring and the worst character.
I thought Samuel should have died. He annoyed the hell out of me because I'm gonna explain something, because I felt like some people just turned dumb in this episode. Like he was like, I am the one who's slain the White Walker.
Yeah.
Like he had all these names.
Oh,
and
he did. But that was a joke. Do you really expect this man to be successful in a fight?
But he got more mature though. He got a little more battle ready as he was getting towards this thing, because he would run away all the time in the beginning. Like
battle ready.
He did the same thing here, and even the guy, I forgot the guy's name. I'm not great with all the names, but he like saved Tully, and then the thing just stares at Tully and he runs away instead of like going, "No, you just killed the guy who from the wall or whatever like that." Like,
Dolores Ed.
Yeah, he ran away after the guy saved him, after making fun of him the whole 2 episodes and forever. Like he didn't redeem him. He ran away, and then he's just like rolling around in a mosh pit of dead bodies, and he's alive at the end. And I'm like, oh man, he should have went. I felt a little bit. I felt a little like, I'm like, enough of him running away.
There has to be somebody who is knowledgeable enough that isn't Brandon Stark in that camp. That's why he's alive.
See, that's why
you're right. Yeah.
See, you had the issue. I had the issue with Brandon Stark.
No, see,
that's he was Xavier.
Because I'm like, you the most useless 3-eyed Raven.
Yeah, he was like Professor X, man. Just
bro,
is he though? He gave Arya the dagger.
Here's the problem I have. I like his scouting in the beginning, right? Because the whole question was, is the Night King there? Right? Because there were theories about that. Like, is he?
Yeah, no, that was my theory.
We talked about on here,
right? I'm like, wait, maybe he goes to King's Landing. Is he there? I thought that was beautiful. I thought the way the Night King used the winter storm as cover to confuse the dragons, beautiful. He didn't even send the White Walkers. It was just pretty much the whites in the beginning.
Yeah.
So once that was discovered, I'm like, okay, cool. So where Game of Thrones is great is as it gets towards the end and it's looking grim. It's looking bad. You know, boy Theon's out there, last line of defense. I'm like, okay, they're coming in. They were so gangster with it. They didn't even let the whites attack. The whites were in formation and allowed the walkers to come into the forest and the Night King to come through. So when you get to that point, I'm like, okay, well, maybe because Viserion is close, he might walk the dragon. So I'm sitting there waiting to see if his eyes are going to turn. And it did. So I'm like, there's a lot of staring going on right now between him and the Night King.
Yeah,
like,
it was pretty tense.
This is spooky right now. What's going to happen?
Did anybody else get the sense that the Night King just walking in? I was all gangster as shit. He's just like, yes,
Yo,
I'm like,
over.
Just going straight murk him like this. Like, no one, where's it going to happen? Now, obviously, the Arya moment we know is fantastic. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, Sam.
Yeah,
that was probably what he did. It just threw me off. I was expecting a Warg moment.
I hear you. Don't make no mistake. I hear you, but at the same time, I'm putting out a check here to withdraw this comment if we don't see it pay off. But I truly believe Bran is manipulating events we don't understand. That he's got some sort of bigger plan. We have episodes to go.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
Especially, and you know what settled that for me? When he interrupted Theon, he didn't even let him apologize. And he said, everything that you did brought you to where you are now.
Right. And I am convinced after I got out of my feelings about that part, I'm convinced that he's probably going to have a bigger, because let's be honest, they're decimated, right? They're really hurt. Right. You know, we don't know the status of, the dragons are alive, but we have to consider both of them very, very wounded. And Cersei has the Golden Company. She has the numbers most likely now. So my theory is that he also will pay off towards the bigger evil, which is her.
Exactly. And so for my bit, if you guys don't mind me jumping in here, I don't mean to cut you off, Cog. If you, I'm just going to hammer down on what I said about the music, but go into detail here. That track, "The Long Night." The Night King is what that track is called, and it's like 9 minutes long, something like that, and it was perfect. That sense of despair, because it's I thought Jaime was a goner. I thought Brienne was a goner. I thought Pod was a goner. I was even beginning to get doubts for my boy Jon. I'm like, Jon, you are many things. I love you, but are you really a dragon slayer? That was perfect. I have never been so stressed, not that I can recall, on the edge of my seat. And for a split second there, I truly thought, okay, are they just going to stomp on all of our hopes and
kill everybody?
Are they literally just going to do it, and then the remaining 3 are about King's Landing and them eventually getting wiped out? But then that organ music came in, and that organ music has only ever been used for Light of the Seven, the track when Cersei's plan to blow up the Sept of Baelor is slowly revealed. And so I was like, okay, I know there's got to be something. I know there's got to be something here. And having Arya, servant of the many-faced god, kill the Night King is the perfect twist I didn't know I needed.
Yes, the secret
weapon. It was perfect.
That moment.
And by the way, go ahead, James.
It's a brilliant roller coaster moment. The last time I had a moment like that was the end of Get Out. It's when it was like, yes, oh no, yes.
It was like, exactly right.
Because when he grabbed her, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, my thing was, and I will say this because I've watched people complaining about it on Twitter. People were complaining about Arya Stark, saying, she's a Mary Sue. I'm like,
no,
hold up.
No, she hasn't.
Hold up. Like, this is literally the opposite of a Mary Sue. Like, she's been training for this moment the entire time. For 7 seasons.
She really beat people up with that staff that she had made for,
She was getting so busy that old boy had to tell Clegane, get out of your feelings. Do you see what this little girl is doing right now?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
And can we give some shout out and respect to the fact that our boy Beric Dondarrion, the Lightning Lord, came back 6 times just because he needed to save Arya. Much like Hodor, he had
crazy.
We got to shout out Melisandre too a little bit though, man.
Yeah, man.
The Lord of Light gave her a last-minute level boost. I got. She got some new powers.
She gave the Dothraki the cheat code at first, and I got gas. I was like, "Oh, that put the fear." Like when that happened, and you see those torches go out one by one, the threat level, and then you see when some of the horses came back. I said, "Oh no,
yo, dude!" What got me off guard because I thought they would have a chance And then I saw that World War Z infected zombie like wave back. I was like, oh my god, they're
That
screwed.
was the best part. That
was
part when they
insane.
first showed up, like that was
Yes.
crazy.
That was
But I
insane.
just this is what I was saying about the strategy on that part was like I understand like the Dothraki when they go charging, they're like invincible, like that's what they're supposed to do. But I just thought that I feel like the people didn't like people fought these White Walkers before. Jon Snow fought them.
Right.
Bran saw them up above the wall at the tree and all that other stuff. They knew that these the basic guys can't cross fire. That's why they had the fire thing around them. So why wouldn't you put your people behind it and just let that thing go? Like I don't understand why they were charging into the dark.
Remember, the entire goal was to bait the Night King out.
Exactly.
I know, but
they had to make it
killed
so
the
feel
whole
like he was
Dothraki.
winning.
Yes, and they were an acceptable sacrifice. And it needed to happen over. No, I'm serious. Hang on a
Mr.
minute,
Westerosi supremacist.
Yes, I am. And let me explain something here. Whatever sacrifice was necessary to draw the Night King out, they needed to. Every single person who died, it didn't matter how many they killed. He had more. More waves were still swarming over Winterfell when the Night King was killed at the end there. Okay, now granted, some of them were resurrected. I grant you that, but not all of them. More of them were still coming in. The only chance they had was inflict enough casualties and piss him off to the point that he directly shows his hand. Because other than that, there was no chance. And that's why I have to go on a mini rant here. I'm a little annoyed with all these people who hate the fact of, oh, the Night King should have won. The survivors should have fled Winterfell. No, that's BS. If they didn't win, plenty of people are saying that right now. And if they didn't win here, they were never going to win.
Right.
It was here or it was never.
Yeah, I think to Judge's point, I just want to say one quick thing. I know where he's a little frustrated with one. I think Sam, you're right. I think you also got to keep in mind just that Dany kind of broke protocol.
She did when she saw them die.
Because she saw them die. She didn't stick to the plan to still lure him out. Because let's be honest, the dragons came out early. I was like, yo, I thought they was going to wait a little bit. So I think that's where things kind of just snowball.
Because the plan was they were going to wait until like they get back to the point and say, okay, we're going to hold back, put up the fire defenses, and just have them do waves of dragon's fire on everything.
Yeah, but remember when Bran was in the tree and he was with the the three-eyed raven and stuff like that? The forest people put up a wall of fire, and only the Night King could walk through it. So they were just standing outside. Right, they couldn't do it. So why couldn't you be like, yo, just put up a wall of flame? Those dudes won't walk, and Night King will have to lead them through.
I think you missed the part where the whites then burrowed and ripped through the hill and through the tree and swarmed over.
Oh yeah, they went over it. No, after he opened it though, right? After he opened the fire.
They just did it anyways. They walked around the fire and then burrowed through the hill. Like,
they came.
Don't forget the part where they just buried the flames with their bodies.
That was awesome, and he led them to do that. Like he pointed his hand forward and led them to do it.
That shot of him, by the way, on Viserion where he's blurred except for his eyes and he reaches his hand. That was perfect. I was like,
oh my God, him behind the scenes manipulating. It was great.
In that single second, I was like, okay, all right, you win my respect. That was great. And I know we got to go to Endgame soon, so I just want to say two other really quick things, if that's okay.
Yeah, go shout out to my Sam and the Game of Thrones talk. So
okay. Shout out to my boy Ghost for somehow surviving that charge. In the preview for the next episode, I'm like, I don't care how you did it. You're the best boy. Congratulations.
you are the best boy.
And then the other thing, I was like, did anyone else think for a moment that we were about to lose Drogon when the whites swarmed over him? I was really surprised he made it out of that.
I want to give two shout outs too real quick. Let's shout out the Unsullied though for holding it down, allowing a nice retreat.
Yeah, but the Grey Wolf did. I don't know how he wound up behind him. No,
Worm is gonna smash
the other side of the barrier, and he let his men out there. Like, did you see that? The Grey Wolf, the Grey Worm, whatever his name is, the Worm guy. For some reason, he wound up behind the Unsullied, and they were on the other side of the barrier. And he's like, I'm like, yo, that guy's out leading them. He has his
Worm's got to wriggle out of there.
And the last shout out, and I'll leave this alone. We got to shout out. I got to shout out the Night King for taking Jacarius to the face and smiling and Danny and putting sheer terror into John on the football field where he started to rise them up again.
The only time, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only time in the entire series where he smirked.
Yes, when he smiled, I had genuine. I was like, "Girl, get out of there!"
Just say a word. I wanted him to say one word. It would have been just the most perfect thing I've ever seen. And everyone's doing shout outs right now. I want to shout out the fact that Miguel Sapochnik apparently loves The Last of Us, because the moment like the battle's going on, it's amazing. What's going to happen next? Oh, we're going to cut to a really quiet moment where Maisie Williams is going to go through a library. I love that scene. I absolutely love that scene. Yeah, because I'm a horror nerd. Of course, I loved it. Of course. And I love the dude they got to like play that White Walker, that's like looking under the table, is a performance artist who's like specializes in weird body movements. I'm down for it.
My shout out is to the dragon fight. I wanted to see more of it. I was waiting for that. The 2 versus 1 dragon, man. Above the clouds. That was really awesome. I wanted to see more of it though.
Shout out to Jorah.
I got to intervene. I got to intervene. So like, the people who died. Sam, who are the guys who died? I keep forgetting the one guy who's.
We lost Lord Commander Ed, 999th Lord Commander, and now his watch is ended. We lost Lady Lyanna Mormont, giant fan. First of her name. Hey, she killed.
That was awesome. That was really cool.
Quick thing: everyone needs to check out the video that Leslie Jones put up of her reaction to the death of Lyanna Mormont. It is the greatest thing you'll ever see.
Put the link in here. Put the link in. I didn't see it. Oh,
yeah. And we you said who else did we lose? Ivan, is that what you were asking? We also lost Jorah. We lost Jorah. We lost Lord Derek, and we lost Theon, and then Melisandre. That's the kill count.
Yep.
All right. So moving on through. We're going to start Avengers Endgame stuff.
And
Goodbye,
I'm out.
Sam.
I will see you all on the other side sometime. When I see Endgame, you can be sure I'll be messaging you guys. So,
no doubt.
Take care.
All right. Here we go. So give everybody a second. If you were here for Game of Thrones, get out. If you want to hear Avengers Endgame spoilers, we're getting into it now. I'm just putting in the spot here. What's the timestamp at? Roughly about 36 minutes and let's say 37 to be safe. So, all right. So we're going to start with a cog here. Let's
let someone else start this time.
All right, fine. Nick, you go. Nick, you're young and optimistic.
Actually, may I?
You guys spoke Japanese for like 15, 20 minutes to me right now.
Yeah. Let James go then.
James go.
James. A quick thing I want to start. I just want to build on something that's actually already been said about fan service.
Yes.
I'm not a big believer of fan service for the sake of fan service.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because it's in a comic doesn't mean you have to say it in a film. That being said, the 8-year wait to hear Captain America say the words "Avengers Assemble."
Mm-hmm.
That's how to do fan service.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know true fan service. He called Thanos a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Cursing.
Language. You remember that?
And Thor playing Fortnite.
I will say, I will say, I want to talk about that for a minute because a few things. First off, 5 years into the future, you're saying Fortnite is still popular?
Salute that man for his
After the
pettiness.
apocalypse. Fortnite exists.
Salute your petty anger.
Did everyone just give up? Like, we lost 50% of the population. No more video games.
Of the devs.
Not just that.
Who's supporting the server?
What's the difference between Epic and that?
Epic Games will still be here after the Endgame, after the apocalypse.
And apparently 5 years from now, we're not going to have PS5. There's still PS4 going on.
Oh, God! No.
Really? Oh, my God.
And the lithium batteries and the controller
it's
still
PS2
last.
It's PS2 now.
Oh, my God.
It's the
we have
PS2
online
because it's half.
infrastructure.
Yep.
We can still play online, everybody, so don't worry.
That was the only time in the movie I was like, really?
I rolled my eyes stupid.
They need
hard
a
at
bag
that
of
part.
Doritos and Mountain Dew next to them.
Oh.
Nah, it was funny. It was funny.
It was funny, but it was like, really? Are we really doing
You
this?
really doing this, fam?
And that's the scene that Korg appears. That's the confirmation we get of
Yes.
arguably the greatest character in the MCU.
Love
Yeah.
Korg.
It was
Love
good, yeah.
Korg. Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
He's
So-
playing Fortnite. God dang it.
So much in this movie to break down because there's just so much of this stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's talk about Captain Marvel because she's kind of like the first real part of the movie. She's barely in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
surprise.
She was
Right.
longer in the trailer than
Well,
she was in this movie.
Yeah.
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 They just
Mhm.
the way, like, I could not believe, like, I watched the movie and I was sitting there like, you know what? She didn't need to be in this movie at all.
Nope.
Literally,
Low-key.
Yeah.
literally
Movie
everything
either.
she contributed to this movie could have been replaced by somebody else because there's no emotional payoff. No one gives a shit about her in this movie.
Mhm.
They're
The
just like, oh
only-
yeah,
And she
thanks.
doesn't seem to even care what's going on either. Like,
The only thing she
Yeah, I didn't
does
get any
that's
emotion.
useful, it's
Yeah.
literally two things. One is she demolished Thor taxi. And the second thing is, like, Thor puts the goddamn glove, you know, he wears the thing and he's like 1 millimeter away from snapping his finger, and she's just like, nope. Then she gets a headbutt. That's
Yeah.
like boom.
Like
Yeah.
they made
her
her
reaction gave her
powerful.
like a Superman punch, knocked her out with the power.
See,
Yeah.
That's the difference, though. I mean, yes, she
Good
contributed
riddance.
a lot in terms of like physical strength and stuff. She
Yeah.
did stuff like she
Right.
saved
Story
Tony.
wise, nothing.
She-
Yeah.
She saved Tony. She
Mhm.
took out the ship. Yeah, that's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But like literally anybody else, like Thor could have done all of those things
Absolutely.
technically. But and
Yeah.
also it had more meaning behind it than
Right.
just some random person.
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't understand though, like when they're like, "How are you going to get through all those people with when she had the glove?" She just flew through a spaceship and blew it up.
Mhm.
How is she going to get through a bunch of people? She could just go right through them. She just went through a spaceship
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
destroyed his whole
All right.
city
Yeah.
in the sky.
They did a screen test on her. She's only in the movie for 15 minutes. And even then,
Wow.
like it's really just 2.5 scenes or partial scenes.
Yeah,
Where it's like, I'm on a conference call. I
Yeah,
had
and
to
it
save
sounded
Tony.
like a side mission to her. Like this didn't
Yeah.
matter. She's like, "Oh, I got other things to do."
Other
and,
things
you
to
know,
do, like yeah.
What? What?
The other things to do, I think, will end up being Captain Marvel too.
Mm.
Oh,
I like
keep
this one.
that. I don't know. That's
Anyway.
just weird. Like this is the biggest thing ever. Like why are you just like, "Yeah, I'll be around."
Yeah, it's like she just didn't feel, even her character didn't feel emotionally connected to what was going on in me. I didn't feel like she
Yeah.
was,
She's like, oh, shit's going on in the other universe. That's more important right
Yeah,
now.
it's like, I got other
She
universes
just
to worry about.
She just felt full of herself. Like,
Yeah.
even,
I feel
Yeah.
oh, where are you going? I'm going to kill Thanos. Oh, okay. It's like, oh, what have you guys been doing so far? It's like, blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, so you guys didn't have me in the past, so that's why you didn't kill that guy. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Good.
moving on from Captain
I want to play devil's advocate for a second because I mostly agree with you guys. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, fair enough, I get it. Like having someone as powerful as her, like from a writing point of view, having literally a Deus Ex Machina just
Mhm.
as part of your main team ruins the film.
Mhm.
Like, there's a reason why she's only in 15 minutes because if she was
Absolutely.
there for longer, the film would be really boring and 10 minutes long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, and the fact that, like I said, there was a fear from the fan base that because she was so OP that literally she would come in and like be able to handle Thanos by herself and resolve the
Yeah.
situation, which was the fear after Captain Marvel. So I don't mind the choice as far as what her minimal role.
I have a
is.
question for you guys.
Go for it.
Like, everybody going into this movie was thinking, okay, there's going to be a big, showdown,
Mhm.
the survivors against the Thanos,
Yeah.
the big revenge, whatever.
Mhm.
After the first 15 minutes, they go into the planet where Thanos
let's
is
talk
resting.
about it. Let's talk about
He's right there. He's picking up potatoes. He's making
Yeah,
himself a
Farmer
nice soup.
Thanos.
Farmer Thanos.
And they
Yeah.
jump in and they just fucking slaughter him.
I was
Thanos-
disgusted.
Yeah.
I was disgusted. That
Thor is
literally,
like,
I literally
Thor-
rolled. It took me a while to get myself together. I'm glad you said that, Nick.
Yeah.
I really struggled with that. And here's the
What
thing.
did you guys think when Thanos gets his head cut off. It's like,
Yeah,
where's
let
this
me
movie
jump on
going
it.
to after this?
I gotta jump. This is my major issue. And yes, I'm a comic fan. Yes, Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos, one of my favorite villains. So yes, there's going to be some bias there. But as far as the essence of the character, he's manipulative. He's very intelligent. And yes, he did accomplish his goal. However, in my opinion, it was not true to the character to destroy those gems. You know what I'm saying? That is something he wouldn't do. And then to me, it was just too convenient how quickly they found him. And we got an energy source, and we're gonna get there. And then I know they're trying
that right
himself.
there,
Like
that right there, it's one of the major plot holes, maybe.
Yeah,
or
like
What happened to his
convenience.
army?
Yeah,
in
like it's like
Wakanda?
there's no contingency. He just slapped out half of the universe. You're meaning to tell me that he's not gonna understand that the rest of the other half is gonna want retribution for what they did? He's just gonna sit there and consign himself to Farmer Thanos to be found. And
No,
killed?
that's why he did it though, because he was like, for him, he has a messiah complex.
He
Mhm.
thinks
He
they would
believes-
appreciate it.
He's like, he would appreciate. Like, they may
Yeah.
not like it in the short term, but in the long term, they'll see that I was right, and that's why he destroyed the stones. Is like, you can't stop it.
This
I
man
finished
spent
it.
the
Yeah, he
entire
doesn't
Marvel
want-
Cinematic
but-
Universe acquiring
but-
those stones.
I
He's
know,
not
the
going to
most
But he
powerful
destroy
being in the
completed
world,
his
yeah.
goal. He completed
You're
his
not
goal
going to
though.
destroy power source. It makes
According
no
according to Uma Thurman, who's the bold the bold girl?
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Uma
She
Thurman,
said, I don't know.
Who's Uma Thurman?
Poison Ivy.
He- That's Kill Bill, man.
She says to Hulk that the stones create the flow of time. So if Thanos destroys the stone, what happens then to time? Isn't
Exactly.
like it doesn't
Yeah.
create like an
Plot
entire
hole
biggest
garbage.
paradox
Oh, no,
or something?
she was saying if you remove the stone from it, you create a branching reality. You're gonna fuck with the flow of time.
But if you destroy them, what happens to time then? That's what you're saying.
That
right?
happens if you take a stone from a time and you bring it to another. Okay, yeah, you create there's these different branches, but if you destroy the stones altogether,
Mhm.
you don't you destroy the flow of time that they create?
I think she was talking
Maybe
about.
that's why there's Fortnite. Flow of time is stuck.
They
I'm
kept
gonna-
the internet stone to make sure the
I'm
service
gonna
stays.
believe that when she's talking about the branching realities, she's talking about taking them from the point of where they're at. Like, let's say for the sake of this argument that argument in quotes, because this is a discussion amongst friends.
Mhm.
That the end of those stones' life is Thanos destroying them. So anything getting in the way of that, it then becomes a problem. Destroying them is not the issue. I think that's what they mean by that. That's what I got from it anyway.
So
Weak.
there's a couple things I do want to bring up.
You're trying to apply logic to a film about
I
magic.
know.
You're not
I'm
gonna
sorry
find
for
it.
me for putting logic over emotion and bad writing. I apologize.
It's not
So-
bad writing. It's
Bad
really good
writing.
writing.
It's we wrote ourselves into a corner with what happened at the events of Infinity War, and we got to figure a way to get out of it. That's all that was.
No,
Like, you can't
here's the
go
thing.
the other
All
way.
right, so so I know this for a fact that Endgame was written before Infinity War because of course it was. That is how screenwriting works. You write the end and then you work your way back.
Mhm.
They didn't write themselves into a corner. They found
The problem is they
If
have source
you
material that they're
made-
going from. There is a writing in the corner. There's source material. It's not that just the film was on its own. There's source material, and they weren't true to that
I would
character.
wager that 10% of the people that went to see
I
this
have-
film again
I have
had
another
read-
question.
had read the source material. I've never
Wait,
even read
but-
a single Marvel comic.
But
Great.
before
It's
Nick,
a shame
before
we
your
wouldn't know what the
question,
character's about.
before your question, Nick, I want to throw this out here. Let's talk about how much of a pussy Hulk is.
Oh my god, that's
Oh
round
my
two of what I'm
God.
upset with. Oh my
No,
god.
where?
No,
Why?
He
I
reminded me
wish
of Beast
I
in
wish
X-Men.
I wish King David was here
No,
because
He's
where is he?
He's co-signing all this. Oh, this is Smart Hulk. All these amalgam storylines that didn't have anything to do with the Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
But what did he do?
He did nothing.
What did
I'm gonna
the
tell you
Hulk
why he did nothing.
strongest one there
I'm gonna
is
tell you
doing
why he did
what?
nothing
He
because
snapped the fingers. He brought everybody back.
All right, no doubt.
Like he
But
fried his
we have-
arm.
we have
He fried
to
half
be
of his
honest
body.
in the fact that he was purposely kept out of the major battles. He should have been in that battle, but the final battle with Cap having his moment, Thor having his moment, Iron Man having their moment.
Yeah, I agree. It should have been the four of them having a moment.
Exactly.
not just the three.
But
I think
because they don't
considering-
control him, Universal has that character on loan is the reason. I'm telling you, man.
I think considering
Universal has Hulk.
Whoa, what?
Considering the huge cast that they have, so many characters that they have, I think everybody got their little fair moment of shine. Almost
They handled
everybody.
it well.
Everybody got a moment of shine, but I'm talking about like Hulk. Like if you just look at these two movies as like back to back watching,
He's like a new
literally
character.
here's the only scenes. Hulk gets his ass beat, nothing. Hulk is merged with Banner and does nothing but science stuff. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Strongest one there is, my ass.
Disrespect to the character. That is not the essence of the character at all.
Well, if you want to talk about disrespect, let's talk about Thor.
Can I make a point about? Can I just say your disrespect to the character? It may be disrespect to the comic character, but
Which is what the movie is about. The comic.
Is it a disrespect to the character that they have built up in the past 3 films?
Yeah, because
Now,
the
that
character,
is
if you watch,
different.
when they went to the callback for the old Avengers, when that character was doing Hulk smash in Avengers 1, that was the character. That's what he did.
I will say he is right though, Cog, on one thing. The character we have seen in these movies, it made sense for them to go the Professor Hulk route, because it was like, okay, for the longest time he was suppressing the Hulk, and it's like all Banner all the time, and then Ragnarok was the exact opposite.
Right.
All Hulk all the time, and you see like they're not supposed to be two separate people, and him having the merge between them was like, okay, this is thematically satisfying.
I'm fine
for the
with
long
that
term.
I know, but he should have been more vicious though.
He should have been more involved.
I agree.
He was not.
He should have had some
involved.
fighting
like-
involved.
Yeah,
Like something.
Yeah.
He literally held the building up for the entire back. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That
Anyway.
was disrespectful to the character. I don't
Can
care.
I-
He should have been fighting
I
more.
I still have that question for you guys.
Go. I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
That's fine. You guys know how they get divided into teams. You know, every team is assigned a stone. So how convenient is that Hawkeye and Scarlett Johansson get the Soul Stone? Because what would have happened if Thor and the raccoon had to go to?
I know.
the Soul
Well, no,
Stone
because the idea was they wanted to put the right people in the right kind of setting, so they would have like some base idea of like the timeline of events, so they wouldn't run into each other or cause a paradox or something.
Yeah, but when they made the teams, they didn't know that to get the Soul Stone, you have to lose somebody you love. So what
that
if
is convenient?
Yeah, very convenient. Contractually convenient.
But literally everybody else had made sense, because it was like, okay, Thor, Hulk, everyone else like, okay, we got to go. Hulk's gonna go to the Sorcerer Supreme, and because he actually knows where the place is, he knows where the house is. You have Tony, and we're trying to like, because they knew what happened at the end of Avengers, and so it's like Tony and Cap go do that. Ant-Man help out the squad there, but then at the same time, like, okay, you have War Machine and Nebula go to the Guardians of the Galaxy with Morag, and it's like, okay, yeah, she knows it most about space, so it made sense for her to go there. But then you also like Thor and Rocket going to Asgard, because Thor's the only one who knows about Asgard.
Well, Rocket should have went to Soulstone.
Speaking of Nebula, when the future Nebula shots her past self. Shouldn't the future?
No. They explain that. They explain that time works differently because it does. They don't create paradoxes. It's a separate timeline. When you fracture time, it's just a separate timeline.
I'm thinking Back to the Future. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, they explicitly say it doesn't work like Back to the Future.
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I'm also got to think that a nice little reference. It's not they didn't intentionally make this, but like Tony calls Thor Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that like somebody worked for Tony years ago who looked exactly like Jeff Bridges? It's so weird.
I know, right? It's just crazy. But I want to say two things.
For everyone who said they really like this film, you guys really are nitpicking.
Yeah, no, trust me, I am, and you're right, Jen. I am. I gotta understand. I'm a Marvel nerd.
Can I just bring it back to what you guys said about like why did they kill Thanos so early? Because if they didn't, then they just do Infinity War again, and this has to be a different film.
Okay. If you're satisfied with that, great.
The thing is that like that Thanos was basically like defeated. His job was done. But I do agree with Cognito.
But he also made the sacrifice that young Thanos didn't make.
Well, the thing is so I don't know the source material too much, but like, so when Thanos has all the Power Stones, he's just snapping away like a doo-wop group, like just snapping.
Yeah, he snaps them away.
He's just killing everybody. Like, I
kills
would
half.
think so. He kills everybody, yeah. So
and doesn't destroy the gems after.
But I heard that it was like a farmer Thanos though in the comic books or something like
there
that.
was a farmer Thanos at one point, but he still had a gem. He like I said, the motivations to get rid of the gems just don't make any sense. That to me is movie stuff.
I will say I have two things I want to bring up. This is more about ending conclusion stuff.
Absolutely.
One, both of them had to deal with Captain America. So in this movie, I cried 3 times. While I shed tears twice, I actually legit cried one other time. Tier 1 was when Ant-Man sees Cassie.
Oh yeah. Oh, that
after 5 years.
It was a fortnight.
No. That one got me. When Peter comes back and hugs Tony.
Yes,
I was like,
when
God
he
damn.
That hit. Yeah, that hit.
Yeah.
I like
when
he met his dad. When Tony met his dad, I thought that was
that was nice. But anyway, so the last one was Cap's ending. I thought it was really well done. Like Tony dying, I was like, all right, cool. Like you went out like a boss, cool. I'm fine. I'm good. Like that's fine. We're like I wasn't like emotionally invested because he's not my favorite Avenger. So it was like, all right, whatever. But watching Cap fucking cry like a baby. Like I was like, I can't.
It was
but I know that everybody says that's the biggest plot hole of them all, where he goes back and returns all the stones and stays there, and are there 2 Captain Americas and all those stuff. But it was done well, though. It makes sense.
I think you all need to look up what a plot hole is, because these aren't plot holes.
That's not.
I didn't have an issue with. I didn't have an issue with the Captain
telling
America
you what
thing.
happened because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with the Captain America.
No, I liked it. I'm just saying I heard people like complaining about the
people don't know what plot holes are. Just they don't have to tell you every little thing about what happened in the timeline about how they avoided each other. All he did was settle down.
I knew he was gonna stay when he saw her through the glass. I was like, oh, he's just gonna stay.
He caught the feel. You saw it.
Yeah,
he was in that
I was
timeline.
like, he's gonna stay. He's not. There's no reason. It's not his time.
The most satisfying part of this movie was Captain America beating the shit out of Thanos with Mjolnir.
Oh, that was fire!
I was like, yes,
that was amazing.
That was incredible.
When
they called down the lightning.
Yeah.
When Captain America grabbed the hammer, my room went nuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My room went nuts.
Oh, yeah,
That's probably the
everyone did.
loudest pop in my cinema. Yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
no! When they all showed up, though, I was like, cheering like crazy.
Yeah, with Doctor Strange with
best,
the warps.
Best part about it, Sam comes on the intercom and says, "On your left."
On your left.
Yes.
Oh my
God.
God! That's when the whole theater erupted for us.
Yes,
it was.
I was going. I was shaking my son, my 7-year-old. I was like, "Look at all of them!"
Yeah, that was fire. That was fire.
I initiated the cheer when Spider-Man showed up. When Spider-Man showed up together with the other guys, it was like, everybody went.
Yeah, because I forgot Thanos had his whole army on that ship. Like, and when he brought everybody against Captain America, I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah. And I like what he said though. He was like, "You know what? I'm gonna have pleasure destroying this shit this time." Like that part was kind of fun. I must admit.
It was awesome.
No,
and Thanos' face when he saw all of them show up, I'm like, "That's right, son of a bitch, it's over."
Exactly.
Man, when I saw when he broke his shield and it was like that, I was like, "This is how Cap's gonna die." I was like, "Cap's gonna die and inspire the rest of the guys and be like, oh hell no, we're actually avenging somebody today." But just my gosh.
And again, similar to what we said about Game of Thrones, a shockingly low kill count. Mostly because we knew most people were going to come back alive. I want to light a candle for Scarlet Witch because everyone, Scarlet Witch. Sorry, Black Widow.
The Scarlet Witch scene was cool though.
Everyone, largely before this film, went, "Oh yeah, Black Widow is also there. She is also an Avenger, but like she doesn't really do anything." If you really think about it, no one, and I mean no one, has a more tragic story than Black Widow.
They should have told her story before all this.
Yeah.
But they tell it through the incidental lines, the lines that you throw away, the flashes of the Red Room. He knew my father. I never knew my father.
Yeah.
That's weird. And they're still making the Black Widow film. That's still being made.
They need to do it,
I there's a lot of great stuff. what else is there?
And she was basically the head of the Avengers, basically, when after the 5 years. Like, she was leaving.
She was kind of running things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, government-wise, she's the one who has the most training in office, so it makes sense.
I have a question because I genuinely don't know the answer to this, although I'm just not sure who it is. So Tony's funeral, they do a pan of like who's there at the funeral.
Yeah.
So are you talking about the young man who isn't
the one guy who's standing alone?
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
I'm pretty sure it is the kid from Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah. It was he looked up, he trained them, something like that. It was like
from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess. I mean, they could have said something about it. Give us a little more hints of that. Like a Dora the Explorer watch or something. I don't know. Give me something to work with here.
We're talking about lines that made us cry. Happy, comforting Morgan at the end. I'm going to get you all the cheeseburgers. I'm like, yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Get her all the cheeseburgers. What did Tony name his kid again?
Morgan.
Morgan? I was going to say Arya.
So
I like the callback.
Had that device, right? And he said, "Put this on Thanos if he tries to snap his fingers." That's the swap out, right? That was the thing that swapped the dummy gauntlet on him. Like there was a device that he had, right, that made him not snap his fingers. I know he had an Infinity War, but in this movie, he showed it saying, "Put this on him when they were going back in time," right? If you meet with him or something like that.
I thought the way it worked at the end, and he's talking about the sequence whenever he swaps out the Infinity Stones onto his body.
Yeah,
I thought it was just because all it was nanotechnology, and so it was like because all he's got to do is just touch it.
Gotcha. So it was now because I thought there was like a red device that he was showing them saying, "Put this on them if you get anywhere close before they jump back in time." Like, if he's gonna snap his fingers again, put this on. I don't know. I got to go back and watch it.
I don't remember that, but
I thought that was a swap out there.
Anything else you guys want to talk? Oh yeah, how they handled Thor. Nobody saw that coming.
That was different
at all. Like that was like they hit it so well. There was no clue it was coming. But I will say, like, just how everything ended. So we got Hulk. Hulk's just kind of doing his thing. Like just being Professor Hulk the entire time. Cap's basically doing Old Man Rogers, doing his shtick. Yeah, he's still around, but it's gonna be like Sam's gonna come visit him and like visit him in the nursing home or the VA, something like that. Just be an old man, give advice if necessary. Tony's gone. Thor joining the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's going to be interesting. I didn't see that coming, but I knew Thor was going to live.
I don't know how she left the fight.
Everybody knows who's in charge.
That was funny. Yeah, I like that.
Yes. You are in charge. You're in charge.
That was great. I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
Captain America fought himself. He's like, "That's America's ass."
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious. And I like the Winter Soldier callback, and then he flipped it, and they did the Hail Hydra. That was
yes,
cool.
That was so good.
I like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that in this movie, and I want to go back and I want to watch Age of Ultron again because that was like
first time anyone said that in a while.
the one you forget about, like that. Like, because that one actually had a lot of build-up stuff towards this.
Yeah, it really did. Really did.
Because I think Tony and Captain America start button heads in that too. Build up Civil War. They
start button up stuff. You start seeing situations with the tease about Cap lifting Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Lots of little things. Just I only had like two, not gripes with the movie, but like missed opportunities. Like I know what they're doing now. I don't like it, but I mean, I wish they were in it. One, where's Baron Mordo?
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, no one cares.
I care. Like I genuinely care because I came out of the end of Doctor Strange like I agree with Mordo on this. You can't just keep warping reality and just not paying attention to the rules. Like, you can't just do that all the time.
Hey, it's fine. Mordo and Zemo, they're on a farm upstate New York. It's all good. They're fine. They're happy. They're running around. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big cheers whenever Black Panther came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was big. It's like,
Kind of
but,
minimal roles.
But that makes
who
no
else
I like
there?
sense
the ground pound,
because
though.
Chadwick Boseman keeps telling everyone that he's dead.
Yeah.
These actors,
will-
they're
I
untrustworthy.
will
fellows.
say this is the part that I'm actually the most interested about is how is Spider-Man Far From Home gonna deal with this stuff?
Yeah, apparently.
Because remember,
yeah,
it's just 5 years in the future,
Mm-hmm.
and like everybody who was snapped doesn't remember anything,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's
Well, no,
like,
they
well,
remember-
how
they-
much are people gonna be older?
They remember it, but they are the same age.
No,
And they're
yeah,
back
yeah.
to school.
No, that's the thing though. So it's like the guys who are snapped, like, okay, here's a hypothetical scenario. Peter got snapped, his buddy got snapped, but what about Flash? What about MJ?
Mm.
What about those guys? Did they get snapped? Did everybody in Brooklyn get snapped?
They're not gonna talk about it. They're all gonna go on
They
school trip.
just go borough by borough and say Queen's gone.
The whole school. The whole school. Aunt May.
So I'm wondering, it's like, so what's going to happen? Like, are they get is like Flash Thompson just going to be 20 and out of school already? like what's going to happen? So that's what I want to see from this movie is like, how does society deal with this?
Yeah,
Or even bigger question: what about Jake Gyllenhaal's character with Mysterio? Was he one of the people who wasn't snapped, and he was just a kid who's like Peter's age, but 5 years older now? Now he's an adult and older than him.
Mhm.
So it's like just little questions like, how does the world come back from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's done. I think they may refer to it. I think they just went on a school trip and
Mhm.
new movie.
Yeah. And I think the
What if-
question for me is that even though we didn't get a classic post-credit thing, which I'm fine with based on this, a conclusion of a phase, so to speak, I am curious now with the integration of the Fox deal, right? What happens now? How are they
We
included?
won't see that for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, which is what it looks like.
I
Yeah, which is
actually
what it
have
looks like.
heard something interesting about it. I've been reading some theories about it last
Mhm.
night. So one of the theories that I read was they were talking because they've altered the timeline. Because now because Cap went back to different parts in time, and as they discussed, all they did was they created branching realities.
Right.
Was that theoretically at any point they could have changed anything, and depending at what point Cap went back,
Mm-hmm.
he could have changed something in the past unwillingly or unknowingly.
Right.
Because I think based on that end part with him, it looks like he's at least in the 50s.
Mhm.
Which
At least
At least maybe
Yeah,
70s. 70s, yeah.
well, and based on the
80s.
cars and stuff, I think it looks
Oh,
like the 50s.
Oh, you're talking about the time versus
Yeah.
his age. Okay.
At the very end. And so for him, keep in mind, like the only reason he's holding up so well is because of the super soldier serum. Like, he's holding up pretty good. But I think he went back to the 50s,
Mhm.
picked up kind of where he left off.
Mhm.
But keep in mind, 60s are when the X-Men start showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And you could theoretically integrate them or just have some small changes. Like it could be subtle differences.
I'm pretty prepared to believe that he and Peggy Carter just have a secret life, and I think but they're both spies. They can do it. They have a life together. They have a family, and they just completely the world will never know because why would they?
There's a regular
Mhm.
Captain America.
As far as the world is concerned, Captain America is frozen in ice.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then people were saying like Shield was built because Captain America technically disappeared. So if they think that if they showed him around with Peggy, they'll be like, well, why would he build Shield then?
No, because remember they already established that you can't change the timeline like that. Like you can't
Like he just like
the timelines, all that stuff still happened, and like his person's still out doing his life.
Mhm.
He's just staying out of it.
Yeah, he just danced with it for 50 years. That's what he did.
So I mean,
Play that song
it's
again.
different.
I always
yeah,
wanted to dance. No, we're dancing for 50 years.
Man, when they cut to black from that, I was like, damn it.
Yeah, it was really good how they yeah, of course there'll be plot holes and all that other stuff. I'm interested to see where it goes from here because they did Tony Stark and the Captain America and stuff. Those are some big characters. I don't know, and I'm not, Marvel. I was really looking forward to see Captain Marvel do some stuff, and I don't know, like, if she's part of the Avengers or if like what they're going to do with her, but apparently
she's not part of the Avengers anymore.
She was like 7 movies or something like that. I'm like, I don't know. She used to be like just flying through planets and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Jez. Like, I need to see, because of the iconic characters lost, those two, like how do they, how they rally is from a leadership standpoint, especially with the Avengers series, who's going to be starting to take more leadership roles. Obviously we know Falcon has a shield now. You know, I'm just worried about the remaining cast left. Is it gonna have the same impact when those two? I mean, without Robert Downey, man, that's a big thing.
I know.
Without Chris Evans, that's a huge thing. So,
and Black Widow,
and
they got her movie. Though. They got her movie, but she's not gonna be part of that universe though. Like after that,
I mean, I'm concerned with a Captain Marvel.
Is not in the Black Widow movie.
What's that? Who's not in the Black Widow?
Say it again, James. I didn't hear you.
Scarlett Johansson is not in the Black Widow movie.
Oh, it's like a young version.
It's a prequel.
It's a
It's a woman called Florence Pugh, who you have seen in Fighting with My Family, the film about Paige, the wrestler.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I believe she will be playing either a young Romanoff, a young Natasha,
Adrian Hardy says
he going in.
He already had that scene in the movie with the all-female Avengers, like when she was like in a remember? That was pretty cool though. And Spider-Man just backed out. He's like, "Oh, okay." I don't read.
Did you guys see
I have a question for you guys who you guys seem to have read way more comics than me because I haven't read any. What since like is Thanos like the big bad of the Avengers of a long-term period?
It's like he actually have a bigger scale to the entire universe. More than
fair enough. So my big question here is like, considering that the past 22 films have been leading up to the battle with Thanos.
Yeah.
What is what is the other like major dude or woman or
big
being?
bad. Yeah. We got a bunch.
Kang the Conqueror, the Time Police.
Oh my god.
You messed with time. This is mine.
We got a bunch. We got Doom, which they have the right. They should have the rights back to, and of course Galactus.
Please, Doom is way better than Thanos on a character level.
Doom is deep. Doom is deep. There's no doubt. And then we have the the planet, the devourer of planets with Galactus, and hopefully I can get my Silver Surfer movie. But those are some big threats. But like you said, James, it may still be a while. We're probably not going to get it in Phase 4.
The aluminum loser.
Yeah.
Guys, what happened to remember when Tony and Cap are trying to get one of the stones, but then Hulk knocks Tony
and Loki
gets the stone and he goes away. Like what happens to the Loki?
You'll find out in the Loki TV series coming to Disney Plus.
Yes.
That's it. Oh, great.
Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's a good question.
Yeah. It's I want more than anything. I said this to my flatmate, and once I said it, I realized how much I wanted it. I want Tom Hiddleston every episode to be in a different decade of like an American sitcom.
Quantum Leap. Like he's in Quantum Leap.
And I want Loki, God of Mischief, appearing for one episode in Cheers, like just. And I just want it, and it's a different show every week, and he's just trying to like get back to Asgard and has got no idea how. I that is all that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but now with the Fox acquisition, they could actually have some interesting shows.
I think do they have to wait for that like Dark Phoenix movie because that didn't look too hot. I saw the previews.
Yeah. That screams desperation.
Yeah,
like, please.
I'm like, stay in Winterfell.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm sorry.
But guys, what are you talking about? Every time they've adapted the last time they adapted the Dark Phoenix thing, it worked out really well.
Guys, I'm sorry, I have to leave a little bit prematurely.
Yeah, me too. I gotta get to work.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll wrap things up here. Final thoughts. Anything you want to mention about the movie, Nick, before you leave?
Nothing. Just I know I know I probably sounded very nitpicky. Like, oh, well, what about this? Well, what about that? But I really did enjoy the movie.
Likewise.
I'm thinking going for the third time again, as I said before.
Oh, we're always judging it based on the Marvel scale.
Yeah,
Like,
with me, I'm being petty, but make no mistake, I like the movie, and this is just like you're comparing masterpieces at points, right? You know, these movies are still great movies. You know, it's just I got my personal top 5.
Yeah, this was like for me. This was like Return of the King, like level of Goosebumps and shit.
Yeah,
definitely.
This is a conclusion. Like I didn't view it from the same level as I would like another movie.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like this is the conclusion of a decade's worth of movies.
Absolutely.
Like this is just let it rain on me.
I don't know if I'm going to see something like that scale, and I'll
Again.
I just say again. Like,
Again, you're right. I don't think they could coordinate something like that.
Now I just imagine when I'm an old man and they reboot this thing. This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Are they gonna do like the Ultimates version? Like, Jaden Smith is Nick Fury.
I'd really love if they experiment with genre more in the next few films. I'd love like Marvel go, hey, we're making a horror film. We're gonna make a superhero horror film. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Joker later this year can top this. Who knows?
Who knows? It's not going to beat that box office though.
Yeah.
1.2 billion opening weekend.
That's ridiculous.
That's not including Sunday sales. That's not including Sunday.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't, because there's no way it could have included Sunday, because the announcement came out before the movie theaters open here in the States on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But they had already counted the pre-sale tickets.
They would show movies every
they
half
got the
hour.
pre-sale.
All weekend. It's crazy.
I'm checking Netflix right now. All the Marvel movies are trending.
Of course.
Yeah.
What a surprise!
Avengers after watching this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I got to do now, because Grace and I are going to go watch Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
She hadn't seen that. So,
I watched the before I watch this one again.
There's gonna be a super cut of like the entire MCU of like everything that's actually important.
Yeah. Like, they could do Godfather
It's just going to be Ragnarok on repeat.
The flashbacks into like the chronological order, Godfather style.
Oh, dude, I'm still waiting for the ultimate MCU timeline cut of where it's just every scene based on chronological order, whether or not they actually fit thematically. So it's just like,
and then when they
ruins the whole thing.
The Thor 2 flashback, it's just a black screen that says Thor 2, and then they move on. Dark elves.
Hey,
like, move on.
You know something? Right. Okay. Thor 2 has a really bad reputation for very good reason. I will go to bat for Thor 2 for one reason. It is the best looking of all the Marvel films. From a lighting and a cinematography point of view, it's so beautiful.
Because
The
Guardians
rest of it was trash,
too.
but it looks
Guardians
great.
2
It's literally a polished turd.
Guardians 2, I thought, had an amazing style. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, all the Guardians films and all the Thor films. Any film in space, basically,
Ragnarok
really uses color.
Ragnarok, I think, is up there with Ragnarok is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and especially how they ended the movie with Thor. Like, Ragnarok's the reason why he's joining the Guardians, because that did very well.
Did very well.
Mm-hmm. Ragnarok.
So I will say I like the braided beard thing. That looked pretty cool.
Yes, just flash of lightning and you're ready to go.
Okay, we're now getting to a point where we're starting to rank the MCU films. We could be here for 10 hours. We have to stop.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap things up here. So, all right, Nick, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Nick_Marcel, and not much else to say other than I already put Infinity Ward up on Netflix right now as my little background. I'm starving, gonna go to eat. Love you, 3,000 people. I'll see you next time.
Later.
Good night.
All right, Cog.
Yo, you already know Lord Cognito on Twitter, at Iron Lord Podcast on Twitter and YouTube. Catch us there, and lordsofgaming.net. Ink, this was fantastic. I got to get all my emotions out. Thank you very much, sir. And shout out to the panel and Sam, everyone that left, as well as James. Jazz, grind my gears. You already know. You know what I'm saying? And James, it was fun, man. Enjoyed a lot.
All right, Jez.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Jez7780. Follow me over on Twitter and on YouTube at What Grinds My Gears, Jez7780. Thanks again, guys. Awesome movies, man. It was a crazy weekend.
Oh man, I need to rest.
I know.
Sleep. All right, James.
Yes. You can find me on the tweets at James_S Wilson, on Instagram, James S Wilson with 2 L's. Yeah, I'm. So for the next 3 days, we're still showing Avengers in all of our screens, and it's sold out every single time.
Dude,
like we're showing it. Like I can't deal with it anymore. I can't. We're being killed. I implore anyone who's still going to see this film. Why did you listen this long? If you're going to go plan it again, please take your rubbish out with you. It is a thankless job that we do, working in cinemas. Please help us.
Dude,
my cinema had a
bad for you.
blackout, man. The popcorn machines and everything, just like they had a fuse break and they had to reboot all the projectors. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, I went the theaters I went to, like the first theater I went to. I mean, I went there like at 1:00, and they didn't have every showing was filled till 4, and even then at 4 only had 1 seat open. So I had 2 people. I was like, piss off girlfriend, or go find a different theater.
On the opening Friday at 7:30 in the evening, a family of 8 came in and said, "We'd like to see Avengers, please." And then I was so tired by that point, I couldn't help myself. I just started to laugh at them. I genuinely, it's the most horrible thing from like a customer service point of view.
Yeah.
But, well, you behind glass, so they didn't punch you.
What? No, because I said, "I'm sorry, we haven't got any," and they said, "Are you sure? Can you look again?" And that's what set me off.
Oh
yeah,
God.
dude.
I will look again.
Right out of Jingle All the Way.
It's still been sold out for a month.
Oh my God! 8 people just canceled. Oh, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's like Jingle All the Way when they comes in, he's like Booster, and they all just start laughing. They he says he wants a Turbo Man, and they all just laugh like Turbo Man. This guy wants a Turbo Man.
Yeah,
and then but then they got really angry at me for them. Like people.
There was a 2 a.m. showing in my theater. I'm like, you just go to work after that, right? Like it's crazy. Up all night.
That's what my brother did. He went up on Thursday. He went on Thursday night. Went to the 2 a.m. showing. Finished the movie. 5:00. He's a teacher, so he's like, I gotta be up at 5 anyway for work as well.
Exactly.
So he got home from work the day before, went to sleep, woke up at midnight. So, all right, let's go.
At the at the British Film Institute IMAX in Waterloo, right in the centre of London. It's the biggest cinema in the UK. And it's been showing the film for 24 hours straight.
Yeah,
that's all it does.
Dude, it was the first theater I went to. They were sold out till 4, and they had showings every 20 minutes. And then I got there at 1:00. So they were just like pumping out this movie. Like I think everything out of there, they have about 15 screens, I want to say, and I think all but 3 of them were showing Endgame.
Wow. Yo, quick thing. I know we're not Star Wars people, but you saw the Star Wars trailer in this one?
Yeah,
did you think anything of it? Oh, they didn't have this stuff.
Yay for Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, Billy D, cool. All right.
You know what I really want? You know what I really want?
What?
I want to see them do a Dark Knight Returns movie, but with all the original Batman '89 cast.
Oh,
ooh!
Well, Batman's in
Michael Keaton comes back as old man Batman, and have Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, and Jack Nicholson back as Joker. You can't do Christopher Reeves; it wouldn't work.
Like it's
Get
the end
Brandon
of the
Routh.
Skywalker saga, though. Like it's the end of like another ending, and I'm just like Billy D, cool, and I'm like, I just don't feel it.
I just don't care.
I know,
I never
I'm just
cared
like,
that much.
but I love I love Star Wars, and I'm just like, oh, cool, Billy D's, and that was it. I really didn't get anything of it. I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
Guys, it's 2:30 in the morning. Can I go to bed now?
Yes, you can go to bed. But I want to say one last thing. I really hope Star Wars Episode 9 is just Billy D. Williams in Coruscant's diner with Dex from Episode 2.
I
The whole
hope,
movie.
and I
The
hope
whole
this, and
movie.
this isn't a joke. I want this film to be amazing, not because I like films, but because I don't think we as a species could handle another divisive Star Wars film.
Yeah, it was rough last time.
they ran into the ground. They kind of
So,
yeah.
all right. Oh yeah, one thing. We're gonna end on this because I just don't really know. Apparently, Jim Carrey's in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
You didn't know this? This
It just came out today.
This no. This was announced 6 months ago.
Yeah, but we actually got a picture today.
Yeah, because we're gonna get the trailer tomorrow.
Let's see the voice of. No,
He's Robotnik. He in live action.
No.
He is Robotnik.
No.
Anyway, all right. Wrapping up here.
Pikachu, baby. Can't wait.
All right, wrapping up here. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Multiverse Show episode 128. Really love you guys in the chat. Kadrian, kick ass dude. Really. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're out of here. See ya.